need that. So it's all oil, 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 oil. And then finally, somewhere in the world, you grow the grain, you transport it again, put it in the silo, and maybe one day it all arrives at the pellet mill, and finally you can feed this poor suffering chicken in the battery operation. And then you get the cheap oil, the cheap egg. But look how much oil energy is already in there.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Is it possible, in the light of all this wonderful modern equipment and stuff, to go back to become self-sustaining?
Self-sufficient, self-sustaining, yes. We think we won't have another option because we won't be able to transport food around anymore around the globe. We will have to, communities will have to look at them. And I introduced a new concept, and we have some people here very passionate about this. The concept is called transition towns. All over the world, there are transition town movements evolving now, where people look at their communities and they say, hey, what happens if the power goes off? What happens if the oil is gone? What are we doing here? Then they start looking at their own resources in people, in the environment, the natural resources and so on. And then they say, let's put both together, and we don't need that stuff from out there, that unsustainable supply. We're totally dependent on everything. So what do we need to become self-sufficient, self-reliant? Well, we do this all the time. Get more interested. Trish knows the website, huh? Can you write it down? Transition Town website, have a look there. But in the meantime, I want to finish off this here. I want to show you, whenever I criticize something and condemn something, I always like to give you a solution, an example where we can focus on in a positive way. Because one thing in permaculture, and I should put this up first, what we do in permaculture, we know that this Titanic is going to hit the iceberg, because we can hear the icebergs already scratching here for the last decades, you know, with ozone depletion and immune system breakdown and climate change and so on. Yeah, we can say now, we can rearrange the chairs on the Titanic. If we're rich, we can go to the first class bar, order another drink, listen to the music, and listen to the captains up there saying, the officers say, this ship will never sink, it's unsinkable, just believe us. Yes, we can do that too. But we all know what happened to the Titanic. And I met Lockwood Smith on Saturday and John Key in Maracana. And as a goodbye, I said, you know, John, we are all on the same Titanic. Even the rich people come down. And you know, it's cold and wet down there, even for the rich. And I think some rich people already can see that we only have this one planet. There was an interview, I just was teaching now in Europe for 3 months, and I saw an interview, Richard Branson, you know him with the Pacific Blue, and you know, amazing guy. In his interview, he said there is no option, green or not. There's only one survival. We all have to turn green. He meant sustainable. This is Richard Branson saying it. I read it about twice because I thought there must be a mistake in here. But he can see. This is the Titanic. This is completely unsustainable what we have here. Our economy, the industries up there with nuclear power and the oil, fossil fuel industry, genetic engineering, or you name it, it's all there. All unsustainable. Yes, please.
Yeah, what I don't understand is that you mentioned Richard Branson, and yes, you know, we see Virgin Blue come to New Zealand and they're offering very, very cheap airfares. Virgin are about wanting to fly people into space.
It's still a dreamer, you want to say, yeah?
Well, I mean, economics people, just politicians and business people are so driven by short-term profit.
Yes.
They'll talk the talk.
Yes, but who is actually giving the profits to this? We always, you know, attack multinationals, you know, it's on who? It's you and me, the consumer. When you buy this nonsense, you support Ribena here. It's even not a New Zealand company. Why can't you make your own beautiful juice and fill it in a glass bottle for the rest of your life? Like when we milk our cow, it goes in the same glass bottle for 21 years now. So what's wrong with that? And actually improve your health with it, because I don't see too much healthy stuff here with all the preservative and additives and the coloring. Yes?
I just had wondered if there were places one could go to learn, because for me, there's just a huge gap in knowledge how to apply
Yes? Yep.
these. You know, I can't afford to go to a school to learn about
Well, these
how
places
to
are,
plant and reap and
Yep.
sow and all of that.
the knowledge and the teachers are in your community. I don't know where you're from, but they are all there. Yeah, they are all there. We have been teaching about 20,000 people the last 20 years on Rainbow Valley Farm how to live sustainable, how to look after your life, how to care, you know, for your family and keep yourself healthy and look after the environment. Yes, the permaculture movement is now globally, thousands of people active everywhere, and now it's taking off in a big way. I just met some people from the United States. They talked about a movement that is amazingly exploding, and they are called the locavores. You know, omnivores, you know, carnivores, yes? These are the locavores. You know who they are? Does anybody know already? No. These are people that all of a sudden know if they don't consume local, produce local, consume local, they're having a horrendous impact on the planet. They are not sustainable. So they only buy and shop local. And I think it would be very easy for us in New Zealand because we have practically everything here that you need for life. We are a very placed
Excuse
place.
me, Jack, can I interrupt? Home Builders in Warkworth, in answer to your question, that this is this community organisation, they run free courses on organic gardening and growing, and they're just up in Hexham Street, isn't it? Hexham Street, and they advertise these classes. They run them about 3 or 4 times a year.
On the internet, because we don't have them.
No, they're not on the internet, but they're in the local phone book. Home Builders. In the Warkworth phone book. Home Builders.
Yeah. Actually, fabulous organisation. People that run all that.
Yeah,
really
they do a great job. They run all sorts of classes on all sorts of things, and one of the courses is organic gardening.
Joe, before you start again, we can do it in the country in places like this. So what's the link with the cities? How would they survive?
Let me get this back on and bring this back again. Permaculture, I've been working and teaching permaculture 25 years or 30 years now, I think it is. Urban permaculture is coming in a big way because people can see, and the United Nations said in the year 2000, the biggest challenge for humans in the 21st century will be to grow the food where the people are, because we will not be able to transport it. So people cannot even cook anymore. I'm not talking about growing their food. They can't even cook anymore, some of them. I lived in the United States, you know, and in other countries. New Zealand might be okay. But even here, we have 350 food banks, and they cannot cope with the demand. In a country where food grows 24 hours, you know, I come from cold Austria with a growing season of 3 months. We fed ourselves. I grew up on a peasant farm after the Second World War. That's why I know all this. My grandmother died in the year 2000. She was born 1900, died in 2000. She had all the knowledge about living a healthy life. Otherwise, she wouldn't have made it to 100.